Hello, how is your Monday going so far? And now let us bring to you what is happening online from a business perspective.
And definitely there we're kickstarting this conversation from mobile money accounts, as the Bank of Uganda has reported that over 13.6 billion have been held in 2.8 million inactive mobile money accounts. Let's get this number straight. The 2.8 million represents the inactive mobile money account. So that means it represents a SIM card or a user. That means we have 2.8 million inactive users. And then the 13.6 billion is lying on the 2.8 million inactive accounts. Now, the inactive mobile money accounts dropped to 2.8 million. That is a drop for the period ended December 2021. So clearly, you can see that the move that we were actually mentioning, that the telecommunication companies have been sending people messages that don't share your PIN or make good use of your money, and make sure that you do your transactions on a daily if at all you need to. And this has actually dropped to 2.8 million for the inactive mobile money accounts, according to the data from the Bank of Uganda. And this decline represents an 87.5% drop from the 5.25 million accounts that were recorded by the central bank during the period that ended in September. So this particular report still reveals how most of the Ugandans who have actually been having inactive mobile money accounts dropping, as the numbers actually coming in to drop a little bit. Now, furthermore, as we are looking at the situation, the mobile money services are now regulated and licensed by the Bank of Uganda under the National Payment Systems Act, which provides for licensing, streamlining of electronic payment. The services had been previously regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission, and details from the Bank of Uganda also indicate that during the same period, the value of money held in an active, inactive mobile money accounts had declined to 13.6 billion shillings compared to the 27.2 billion as of September 2021. So in a period of 3 months, the decline has actually been inevitable. That is almost half. Because 13.
I feel like because there has been, provision of information, at least people got sensitized. The move of inactive accounts has not just, come. We have, even before COVID, it started as we were going in, even in the lockdown. People realized they need to seek information regarding what next after maybe your father, your mother, or your spouse has died. The money, where does the money go? Remember, a lot of people were even losing lives. At least we lost a number of people. So that is when all these, and this is a courtesy of Bank of Uganda, statements. People seeked information. People were collectively wanting to know, how can I make sure I get the money back? That's why we're seeing now a reduction in the inactive accounts. Because when you report the situation as to why that account is inactive or regardless is not working, at least it's either now blocked for good or money is taken away and then it is seized.
And still on the same matter here, when you look at what is coming up here, a mobile money account, according to the Bank of Uganda, is considered inactive if it does not conduct any transaction at least in 90 consecutive days, which is 3 months. If at all you have an account and you've not done any transaction, wetebakuwerezayo kashoko, kashok, just kashok money, ka monthly allowance.
You mean people give shock money?
It's just, it's just like a surprise. Someone sends you money and you're shocked and you're like, so it is actually, if you're not withdrawing, you're not buying data, or you're not buying airtime using mobile money for 3 months direct, 90 consecutive days, then they're like, in account like anywayo wabasimufu yenfu. So and in most cases they will have to first look at the account, and they actually keep on sending you messages.
And at some point they actually do call a different telecoms,
if
make a call to you.
Away, they want to make sure that onachariyo omuntu wafe
I don't know if you have seen that.
So when you look at this situation, it is considered inactive if it is actually having no transaction whatsoever in 90 consecutive days, after which it is declared dormant after going through different processes. So Charity Mugumi at the Bank of Uganda Director Communication said that the reduction in dormant mobile money accounts was due to ongoing cleanup by mobile money companies provided under the National Payment Systems Act 2020, because there was also belief that some people or the thieves or the hackers go out there to create more mobile money accounts. So they have many in circulation even when they are not active.
You know, even not even just thieves or scammers or hackers, hackers. Even you might create an account because of a particular need that is arising. What did Jobala?
No take our account.
Yes, and one of the condition is that I need a mobile money account, and because that money is, it's not the daily one you receive. You fear to be accountable if you are responsible somehow. So you say, well, you know what? I'm going to buy another line. Because there are other lines that are in circulation and people are registering mobile money, different mobile money lines differently. You might find, and this is there, an example. You and I are married, which is not, it's an example, Joram. And because I want some other, incomes coming in, you realize that my PIN. As the wife, my PIN, I share with you everything. So it becomes uncomfortable at some point. Every time you're checking my phone, every time you're checking my balance. So why don't I go and buy another line that you do not know about, register it in other, even my names, because now there is that entity where you can register, you can actually register your name, mobile money. The limit is 8 accounts. So far 8 accounts. You can register Rita Cavagero from different lines, but having Rita Cavagero. No, Ngarachi. At some point, it's irritating. Every time you're checking my account, abasajja mubba sente z'abakyala. But omukyala akoze ekibiina kyafunireyo akasente. Every time in the evening you're coming, you want to send money.
Now, when you have over 6 mobile money accounts, it still now creates the other situation whereby people have been losing money. Wait a bit of PIN at some point.
You can actually use the same PIN.
Imagine if someone has your PIN and has access to over 8 mobile money accounts of yours.
That is the reason as to why one account that I bear as a wife. Okay, this is her number ending with 14.
So
I just know this number, and then
heading to the other institution very soon, they need to keep on noting the things that Rita is speaking.
Secretively, I got another 2 numbers or 1 number. 1 number is just enough, really. You don't need 3 or 2 for what? 1 number is enough for you to actually help you save. No, it is not Senga tip. It is a business tip that is going to help you, my dear woman, even a man, because it's, financial harassment actually is not just entitled to women, but men as well. Your wife might be harassing your account all the time.
You harass my account.
Okay, an example. Ogenza mchinabiro to shower. Nensanga esimu yo. I want the first thing to do on mobile money. I send myself like a 50K because yes, every day I'm sending money because I know your PIN, I know everything. We are married, we share everything. So how are you going?
Once we are married, we become together. Marriage is funny.
You become one person.
Okay.
From when you are inseparable.
They only say death will do us apart,
death will do
money,
us apart.
Death will
do us apart.
Clearly.
But to conclude on this, you have got, we save money because we have budgets. We save money because I know I want to be somewhere in a week. After a week, I know I want to accomplish, I want to pay tuition, I want to buy this, I want to buy this, I want to settle down this. And then here comes my daughter every time because she knows the pin. Now we have daughters, not just men or women. I used to do that to my mother. Let me confess that. I know her pin, so every time I don't have airtime, you just go on her phone. You send yourself money. Because parents do not track at some point. Majority of the parents, by the way, do not track their money. Visiting a mobile money when she wants to withdraw, but she knows my money is there. And Twina generation is basente all the time. So how are you going to meet your goal if you don't create another secure account? So that is basically my submission on mobile money and safety and financial literacy in regards to making sure our accounts are secure. And away from that, did you know that civil servants are now pocketing around 1 billion shillings monthly in per DMs around highlights coming in from officials highlighting. And what you need to know here is just spending by civil servants on local trips in the first half of the financial year hit records since starting of the devolution or revolution after easing of the restrictions imposed onto the spread of COVID-19. Data from Controller Budget shows that officials spent around 5.97 billion on local trips in 6 months and ended the year that ended December around 4.89 billion shillings, similar to the period of the same year, had been collected from the trips. That means that they spend money, traveling, easing themselves. We're going to get there. And the jump came from Kenya when they lifted the ban, when they lifted the ban around the country. And you realize that officials were traditionally using their money and allowances to increase monthly earnings. Let's now talk about how government officials are spending up. Because did you know that actually there is new budgeting for government officials that is out, whereby head teacher abadde ku million esatu, is it 3 million, is now going to be receiving between 5 and 8 million. Head teacher was Somirolia public school. Why are you looking at me like Mercy?
No.
You're looking at me with the eyes of Mercy like Naima.
No, that is some good money. I was about to make a comment.
Remember,
and say,
teachers,
if someone is doing a course in education, they should put in more effort.
When I had that money, I was with friends. I got, when I have information, I always share with friends. So they told me, you know what? Education is the next thing to go. Education courses in the coming generation. Because government jobs or public jobs are going to be paid. But again, not forgetting how we've had them crying at some point for increment and also delayed salaries. Before we go there, I was highlighting for you about the teacher who was earning 800, the secondary teacher earning 800 on payroll has been moved to between 1 million and 1.5 million.
1 million to 1.5.
Yes, Omsomesa. Asomesa secondary. See what Kati, that's why we say between the range. That means our arts by Zomuwa 1 kamu.
Echinene nyo by the way.
Kamu nemtwala abid na science up to 1.500. So you can bargain. We're speaking about how they spend money. Reports are coming here about when the lockdown was eased, we saw public servants, but even not spending money on public servants. They tend to have, did you realize they tend to have many leaves? I have friends who work in Abakulam government, we say directly Abakulam government. But you realize they go and live for a very consecutively.
No, because now I hear some of the people who are in government will tell you that once you have the opportunity of going onto a payroll, then it's like
you settle down.
You settle. Now, when you're just getting the job in a government institution, it is always difficult to go on that payroll.
Yeah.
Now, I think that hustle you've had I think they use it as a chance to
spend. That is why they're highlighting the reports on their expenditure, how it has increased from December the December, we as soon as we revamped from COVID-19, they are showing how the expenditure over 4.8 billion shillings, they are spending on that, relaxing. And we have had, we have to call, we call government people here for interviews, but you call someone, tells you, I'm in leave. Try me after 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I've gone for another leave. But what you're saying around service delivery and also making sure that money is being accounted for, and also making sure it does the work, actually. It's not a matter of giving you money.
In some offices, it seems they have a number of people doing there, who are actually working in the same place. So maybe they give them a time. You never know. I'm just putting it in a situation that maybe, let's say, I've actually seen it is with government offices where you'll find a PRO, who is a public relations officer, having 2 assistants.
Yes.
So if someone has 2 assistants, clearly,
you
what
can
do you
go
expect?
and live between.
You expect that person to keep
3
on
leave
seeking
periods within
for
4
leave.
months.
Because he knows or she knows, I have an assistant. If that assistant is also sick, there is also another assistant.
But this is this is coming again to accountability, because at some point, centers or muntu what did I say?
So it actually gets back to my argument here, whereby it is actually believed that people who have already hit the payroll, they tend to be comfortable now.
And that is when the input starts reducing. The input around there as well starts reducing. I don't know if you've been to public schools. If your teacher, everyone who has been in public school, you bear witness.
Exactly. I do.
If your teacher ever mentioned, Neboba tosomye, Neboba toze,
even made memes during the lockdown. So they actually made that more so with science teachers, by the way. It was very evident with science teachers, because arts teachers could come. They could normally come, but they could market demand yamanyi in private schools. But the other one would come, akabagama no kabagama.
At the end of the month.
So because they know there is that security they have, is that I am now on payroll. They know me in government.